K. Praveen Kumar Reddy, the Principal Product Manager of Service Now. All of you, please put your hands together for K. Praveen Kumar. So it will be an interactive session. All of you enjoy.
Thank you very much. All right. That's an interesting topic that we want to discuss. Before that, I just wanted to give you a quick intro about Matthew. Matthew Zarelli, he's a founder of a company called Vernas. It's an innovative project and a realized e-learning platform application which is available on Metaverse, completely built on Metaverse. So who better than Matthew to speak on our topic today, which is regulating the metaverse, the innovation, user safety, and privacy. Thank you very much, Matt, for agreeing to be part of our Fireside chat.
Thanks for the introduction.
And I did not forget, he is also an author. We'll talk about his book as we go ahead into our conversation. Matt, let's be very practical and be very genuine about starting with the basics. Could you please, because we're talking about AI, AR, VR, what is metaverse?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you go now on Google and you try to search what is metaverse, there's a lot of definitions. And even, for instance, Mark Zuckerberg right now is trying to explain it in different ways. But if you ever seen the film like Ready Player One, you would like to understand what is the right direction to go to the metaverse. But the real question is how far we are from this kind of stuff. And the true reality is that metaverse, we can look at the metaverse like a puzzle, right? And right now we are building the borders of this puzzle, and we are trying to reproduce the single components within the puzzle, and then trying to put together the things. Metaverse right now, it's really hard to understand because we are still building the puzzle, because it's a, let's say, mix of different technologies that we right now in the market are still in the early stage. If you think about virtual reality, augmented reality, think about artificial intelligence and all the software behind them, like also blockchain. We are in the period of time in the market that this kind of technologies, they are still building, they are still be approved of from the market, and then we will see them together. But if you think about metaverse, it's like a multiverse reprojection in 3D that is going to reproduce another reality, totally different from the one that we see right now, and where you can develop your own avatar, build your own character, trying to play with others' avatars, and connect with people around the world.
Makes a lot of sense. That was very clearly explained. All that we see as metaverse is another world wherein we can chip in and basically look forward to doing things across the board with our friends, no matter which particular genre or section that we want to. For example, we can take the entertainment industry. The most of the video gaming is currently based on that. And okay, we are living our lives. COVID happened. That's where we saw the need of metaverse, maybe for easy connectivity in another artificial world as such. So, do you foresee any other use cases where metaverse would be helpful, or in a very broader section as to why what metaverse?
Before going to let's say useful case studies, I would like to let's say introduce one topic that I think is really interesting, and why we are focused right now with in the book, but also with the project Brainers. It's training, because right now I think that the real value proposition of this kind of technologies is behind the learning impact, and also the future of training, because if you think about how companies, employees, above all, let's say, professionals are learning, we are still using passive methods. What do I mean with passive methods? If you look at this research, is called Learning Code, you will see that the passive learning methods as like reading, writing, listening. So all passive actions through something, through new knowledge. And according to this research, mostly 50% of the information you will remember that after 2 weeks. This is crazy, right? And after that, we will see, let's say, active learning. Active learning is the next step. And going to the top of the pyramid, you will see that in order to arrive to 90% of the information, you need a learning by doing process. And for doing a learning by doing process, of course, if you are, for instance, an employee or a company or, I don't know, a person that need to build something, in order to build something real, that the risks are high and of course the costs are really high, you can do it within a simulation program. That's why I think the real value behind it.
Absolutely right. So it's another world that we can actually explore and put in mechanisms to contain it so that it will play the role that we anticipate it to. Taking a step further, now let's talk about the application layer. We spoke about the use cases as such. I was just wondering, the use cases, the applications can be massive. Given we've talked about inactive learning, or let's say passive learning that we today have. Let's look at very, very niche industries like military, or we can look at simulations wherein we are trying to replicate warfare simulations, and we don't want actual players to be actually part of it. Rather, we can explore a new world altogether and let the users go around it. So how do you foresee these so-called niche industries taking shape when metaverse will be in place?
Well, right now I think that we can divide, let's say, the case studies into main field. One is soft skills and the other one is hard skills. Right now we can do a lot of things, right? Of course we cannot build the entire metaverse, but we can start focusing on, let's say, a vertical stuff, like the training fields in the both area. If you think about hard skills and you are, for example, in a construction industry, this is going to be really interesting because you can, for instance, train your employees in order to build a kind of construction instead of building a real construction. Or if you think about the education sector and if you are a student, right, there is a lot of difficulties, right, to learn a new subject like, I don't know, which is really abstract, right? I think everyone goes through these kind of struggles. And instead of just reading something and you try to, push your imagination, we can try to build something new with these 3D models in order to help students to understand really what we are studying, what we are trying to build in the future, which are the real application of the stuff. Because most of the time I see that also in the project, but also I work with different companies and also in the onboarding process and training process. If you are, above all, if you are an intern or if you are just starting, most of the time the manager which is in charge to train you is going to invest the time that is going to find. Okay, so it's really hard to see everything and understand all the process, because if you're going to work in a corporate, of course you don't have the big picture of everything, but you're going to learn a specific task, and most of the time this specific task is going to be hard to replicate it, and most of the time you will not see all, let's say, the path around it. And this kind of simulation is going to help you, because it's going to help the managers, first of all, with his time, because it's going to, you will use the platform, you use the simulation programs, and if you have questions, you go to the manager and understand, let's say, different options. And on the other side, the company is going to somehow save money, because instead of, so let's think about how the company, how much money the company invests each year on each employees, right? And but the problem is going to let's say, rise during the path and during the follow-up. Because if you have like, I don't know, 100 employees, 1,000 employees, of course you cannot hire 1,000 trainers to coach everyone one-to-one. And this is going to be another big issue, that this technology can help in order to provide better quality, lower turnover, and higher, let's say, fast learning. In order to provide this, I suggest to recommend these case studies, which is really interesting to read, which is the case study that made Tailspin, the company Tailspin, with PwC, and they discovered that using VR in the learning process and training process is going to learn 4 times faster, you're going to go 4 times focused, and the emotional impact on what you do after the simulation, the reality is going to be, I think, at almost 3.75 times more.
That's fantastic, man. So basically what you're saying is, in investors' language, if we say, it's time value of money. Maybe it's the initial cost that might be something which we might have to put in. Over a period of time, the variable costs are completely going to be negligible. So that's where Metaverse will actually step in, and it will step up our game in taking care of the hygiene factors per se. Well, one thing that reminds me of is the game Pokemon, which took everyone by surprise, and it created a market for itself. Imagine me, my friends actually not being able to speak to me, but they were always in conversation when they were in another virtual world. Given all of this, yes, we're talking about human intelligence, then we're talking about artificial intelligence, now we're talking about different worlds altogether. So we need to make and gel this emotional intelligence with the artificial intelligence and then come up with a solution. On those lines, I wanted to understand from you, like, my privacy is completely distorted because someone else was not available with me at the point, and which should have been my full time with my friends. So governing this, it comes with own privacy risk. And I know you've authored this book, Virtual Reality and Artificial Intelligence. It's basically about risks and opportunities for our business. How do you think it will play out?
That's an interesting question. And let's say, talking about data privacy in the metaverse right now is still early, since the metaverse still need to build. But we can think about the single technologies and what is happening right now, right? If you think about AI right now, everyone is struggling with data privacy. I'm thinking about my country, so Italy. And last year, after the ChatGPT was launched in Italy, one of the main person who was in charge of privacy in Italy, they blocked it for like 1 month. It was quite funny because we were reading around the world what people was doing with ChatGPT, and in Italy, of course, people start using like VPN, this kind of things in order to use it. But the real question I think we can start thinking about is which are the data that Metaverse is going to open to the companies. For instance, if we're going to use the devices, so the headset of the company, so the new product that we are going to launch in the Metaverse, first of all, the new data that they're going to provide is voice. So right now, I think that a lot of companies above in AI are already building, let's say, fake voices. This is going to be a really struggling, I think, somehow. But the same things is going to happen above all in the metaverse. But combining, let's say, the voice with facial expression and body languages is going to be another big step, because it's going to, let's say, provide your behavior and your real behavior to different things, and above all to the market. So I think that this kind of data, we need to really careful about them, and start thinking about them, and as a user, understanding what data you want to provide and what data you don't want to provide to them.
Makes a lot of sense, Matt. So basically you're saying the controlling should always happen at the layer where we have actual control. So, I'm sure we would be really interested to go and book an order of your book to learn things and do a quick deep dive into how privacy, risk, and compliance will play in the world of metaverse. Well, we've spoken about so many things in different industries like entertainment. Then we've spoken about industries like healthcare, wherein a metaverse activity can actually help their cause. I presumably wanted to narrow it down to ask you, is this our Tony Stark Iron Man moment, wherein basically we're saying everyone will be empowered and they have all the things at their hand to have a free chat altogether? Or is it the other way around where we have to be a bit cautious as to how we take it forward?
Well, this is another great question. We are still in the process of building, right? We need to keep this in mind. And it's our responsibility how we use this technology. And not only for the users, but above all for the, let's say, the companies that are providing these technologies to the market. And what I believe and what I also write in the book, which is extremely important to me, is that we don't need to forget which is the real value of humans behind these technologies, and keeping in mind that we need to develop human skills, right? Everyone spoke about soft skills, human skills, this kind of stuff is going to and it's going to help us understanding, let's say, which is the difference between machines and humans, or artificial intelligence and human intelligence, in order to provide to the market your value. Because right now we see a kind of, since right now we see a kind of competition between humans and humans, right, at work. But right now we are going to, so OpenAI and ChatGPT is showing that the competition is going to shift on the other side, which is human versus machines, or human versus software. But the funny thing is that this software we build the software, right? And somehow the people that are building the software still don't know what is going to happen, right? Or maybe they don't want to say what is going to happen next. But I think that first of all, yeah, we need to use it responsibly, because I mean, using ChatGPT is great, could be great, but how you use it, where you use it, and above all, for what you use it. The same thing is going to happen with this kind of technology. At the first place, you put humans, you put, let's say, the value that you would like to provide to your professional careers and your personal life. I think this can make an impact. It's going to help your family, your friends, because you can become better and help people on the other side, and above all also in a company, because if we not take care about this stuff, probably machines is going to replace us, but we don't need it. We need, let's say, an understanding how this technology is going to help us to become a better professionist and better personal life.
That's amazing, Matt. You touched upon a few points, basically ChatGPT and how we can be responsible, and how Italy government wanted to put restrictions and impose regulations around it by banning it for a month or so. People took another alternative to get used to it. That was the case with a lot of companies based in Korea too, wherein they were feeding real-time financial data into ChatGPT and asking it to give prompts, which got leaked, and there was quite a few of stock market deliberation activities that happened. So whatever we do in this world, digital imprints comes with our signature, so we have to be very careful as to what we do and what kind of data we feed to our systems. And given that, we've seen a lot of transition happen from metaverse to AI.
Yes.
Yes, there was a lot of propulsion that people wanted to see in metaverse, but that did not happen.
Yeah.
And eventually, we are talking about the next trend, that is AI.
Yeah.
But imagine if these two worlds and these two technologies
Yes.
start talking to each other, how would you see that taking shape?
That's a great question, and I think it's going to be one of the next big steps. We don't know, we still don't know when, but it's going to be. And we can start imagining, let's say, that using generative AI inside of VR and XR is going to be really interesting, because right now, if you see what is happening with AI, so we have fake images, fake voices, fake videos, because right now, so a few days ago, OpenAI just launched Sora. It's crazy. I mean, I saw it. It was crazy because, I mean, I was thinking about social media manager. Somehow I think they are happy. Somehow they are crying. I don't know. But maybe this is kind of roller coaster emotions. But thinking about all these kind of tools within virtual reality, somehow is going to, let's say, there is an advantage, which is for developers, it's going to be easy to enter in the market, because right now you have, for developing an application, you need a development team, which is coming from sort of technical stuff, like developing Unity or Unreal Engine, and then you need a designer, then you need the 3D models. So a lot of things that right now is going to make the process somehow cost, with an high cost, and of course the time to provide a service. But thinking about, let's say, generative AI or these kind of things related to AI within the VR is going to, first of all, accelerating the process and helping the companies to, let's say, enter in the market. But at the same time, we can find different disadvantages, of course, to the people, because you really start building, let's say, a multiverse, a different universe within the virtual reality, let's say, maybe near what is the metaverse. And I think I was going to open, let's say, breaks, but I think that one interesting book to read about metaverse is the one wrote by Matthew Ball. It's called The Metaverse. It's quite interesting. It's really interesting, and it's going to give you the perspective of metaverse and what is going to happen next. And yeah, I mean, still more steps to do, but we can, as a companies, we still need to, let's say, start understanding this kind of technologies, because once it's going to, let's say, not open the door, but breaks the wall, like AI is doing right now, because it didn't knock on the door, it just broke the wall, and you find it on the table.
Absolutely.
And you say, okay, now we need to deal with this stuff. We need to start thinking about it, and start thinking about with the simple use cases and simple MVP on the company itself to start providing to the employees.
So basically, Matt, what you're saying is just not Iron Man moment, but Iron Man in an Inception moment.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That was fantastic, and you touched upon one point wherein you're saying it's human versus machine that is going to be a possibility tomorrow. I've seen content creators actually struggling with it, because there's so much of, as you said, social media content managers. They're really trying to cope up as to understand where that particular content has come from. I've seen LinkedIn posts wherein people have started putting across notes saying, PS, this was written by a human being. So that's a level of apprehensive that people are, because you never know whether a system has generated the content or a user himself has taken a course to write it and put it across on social media platforms. Fantastic, Matt. It was absolutely pleasure talking to you and the insights that you bring to the table. And I'm sure we'll go ahead, catch up with you on your social media platforms, and definitely promise you we'll order a book of yours and read through it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone. Maybe we can take a few questions if audience have
Some questions that we do to answer.
any questions. All right, we take that as a no. Feel free to connect with Matt and myself on LinkedIn. I will look forward to more engagement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.